What if I slept a little more and forgot about all this nonsense? Said pretty much everyone ever.
Bloody gramophone. Enter. Enter!
Interesting checkpointing. Did you open a door just now? Well, you did something that has granted me access across over here. But first, hello everyone! Welcome back to this game! When we last left off, we successfully shut down the music here at the Gramophone Club, grabbing the attention of the lawyer just in time for someone to come knocking at his door. You know, I needed the boss's attention in order to, or the boss's permission in order to shut off the music here. I wonder what would have happened if I tried shutting off the music without the boss's permission. Well, I'll have to figure that out later. Anyway, we need to somehow acquire a certificate in order to gain entry to tower. So let's see here. Now I should be able to get to the lawyer's desk. Indeed. Interestingly, I cannot see... Oh, that's what was pulled out. Oh, he opened the door going into the gramophone club. He was about to go in there and probably readjust it. Well, thanks to the door, I can get across now. First things first, so... Oops, I did not mean to fall like that, but, what am I standing on? Am I standing on the embroidery on this thing? I guess I am. Well, didn't intend to drop all the way down here, but I guess that's where I'm dropping. I just wanted to land on one of those dials. That looked like an interesting place to land. Oh, and everyone has skedaddled, it looks like. Yep, everyone has vamoosed. By the way, I said before that I have not actually seen this place in screenshots. I went looking at the screenshots again, and it turns out I actually did. It just was without the fog turned on. Well, someone is still hanging around. Can't talk to you, though. Alright, let's get back up there. Actually, thinking on it, there was another screenshot of interest that showed a location we already went through, and it had a bug in the picture, and the bug was green instead of white. Makes me wonder if that was a screenshot made while the game was in development. Maybe initially bugs were going to be green instead of white. Alright, as soon as we hop down there, I'm betting the next person is going to be popping in through the door. Where am I landing? Okay, good. That started to look like an unfriendly jump. Actually, I could have made it regardless. This bottle was standing up before, and I guess the lawyer set it down now. So can I just climb up here? No sticky stuff required?
Young man, why are you here?
My name is Joseph K.
I know who you are. You are a friend of Gregor's hamster.
Oh, you know Gregor?
Didn't he refer me to you?
No. No, my uncle did. He's an old acquaintance of yours.
Ah, yes, of course. So, is it about your trial?
Yes, it is.
You've come at a very inappropriate moment.
I was told to come now.
I know, but you see, my desk is broken.
What do you mean?
Inside, I have the ledger with all the cases. Without it, I cannot work.
Well, can the desk be repaired?
Probably. But for now, we must await.
Mr. Holt, I would like to discuss my defense with you, but I don't even know the charges.
That is not important. What is important is to submit the first set of documents to the court.
The first set? What are they?
The defense doesn't have access to court records, especially not to the indictment. That means we generally
Japanese.
don't know, or at least not precisely, what the first documents need to be about. Anyway, usually the first submitted documents are mislaid or lost, and even if they do keep them right to the end, rumor says they are hardly ever read. This is all very regressible, but not entirely without its justifications. You should not forget, Mr. K, that there is no law that says the trial has to be public. You should not forget, Mr. K, that there is no law that says the trial has to be public.
Is that even possible?
What?
To keep the trial secret from the accused?
Oh, it's
Did he repeat a
usually
line?
possible to a very large extent.
This sounds completely absurd. So what exactly is your role?
The most important thing is the lawyer's personal connections. That's where the real value of taking counsel lies. Contacts with higher officials. Or with high officials, but with lower grades. That is the only way to influence the progress of the trial. Hardly noticeable at first, it's true. But as it progresses, it becomes more and more visible. There are, of course, not many lawyers who can do this. So you have made a good choice by coming to me.
Do you already have some paperwork?
The law is tireless, and so are we, the defense. It should come to no surprise to you that we have an extensive network for relevant information. Your case is a very interesting one. Indeed, things like this don't come all of a sudden. They start developing a long time beforehand. There must have been warning signs of it.
Could I see those documents?
I'm afraid that is not possible at the moment.
Of course.
Not unless I know the date of your trial. It's in the ledger, which is currently blocked in my desk.
I must see them. What is the legal basis for this?
I guess my desk broke due to the laws of physics.
I don't mean your broken desk. I mean the ledger, the trial date, and you showing me the documents.
I just wouldn't know where to search for them. Besides, something said in private cannot be used in public. Therefore, you seeing those documents will not help your case. I would say it might even hinder the proceedings.
Mr. Holt, I insist.
Your trial is still in its infancy. You would get the wrong impression after reading them. They are destined for me, not for you. Trials run their course all by themselves. All they really need is a nudge from time to time. After reading the papers, you could get the wrong idea and start acting erratically. This would for sure complicate the case.
Then explain what they
This
mean.
obviously is a very stupid system. How can one defend himself if he doesn't know what he stands accused of?
It's far from being the lawyer's job to introduce any improvements in the court system or even to think about it. It's far from being the lawyer's job to introduce any improvements in the court system or even to think about it. Many of them spend time on the matter, time that could be spent far better elsewhere. The only right thing to do. is to learn how to deal with the situation as it is. Any other approach is simply superstitious nonsense and might do incalculable harm. Not to mention attract the special attention of the officials. Never attract attention to yourself.
Mr. Holt, I would like to discuss my defense with you, but I don't even know the charges.
That is not important.
What?
What is important is to submit the first set of documents to the court.
The first set? What are they?
The defense doesn't have access to court records, especially not to the indictment. That means we, generally, don't know, or at least not.
Okay, it occurs to me that this dialogue is actually on repeat, so I'm just waiting for it to loop around to the couple of lines where it was spoken wrong so I can see what the lines actually were.
They do keep them right.
This obviously is a very stupid system. How can one defend himself if he doesn't know what he stands accused of?
It's far from being the lawyer's job to introduce any improvements in the court system or even to think about it. It's far from being the lawyer's job to introduce...
Okay, far from being the lawyer's job to try to change it. And what is this line of dialogue? One significant point is that almost every defendant, even a very simple one, begins to suggest improvements to the court as soon as his proceedings have begun. Well, yeah, wouldn't you? I mean, so far, this legal system sounds like utter bullcrap. Like, dealing with those cops from earlier who wouldn't tell Joseph what he was being arrested for. And now this? What the heck? Is there an actual legal system like this in the world? It sounds incredibly unhelpful.
Anyway, usually the first submitted documents are mislaid or lost, and even if they do keep them right to the end, rumor says they are hardly ever read.
What's going on with that?
But not entirely.
Why are they being lost? Again, very unhelpful.
You should not forget, Mr. K, that there is no law that says the trial has to be public. You should not forget, Mr. K.
There's no law that says it needs to be public. Proceedings are generally kept secret, not only from the public, but also from the accused. That's so stupid! Anyway, now that I know that the dialogue is just on repeat, I'll go ahead and go back down and talk to those bugs I ignored. I didn't really want to distract from this conversation with also dialogue from bugs down here.
Usually possible to a very large extent.
Like, what's your story? You're a smaller bug.
So what exactly is your role?
Hi.
The most important thing is the
Hi.
lawyer's personal connection.
I'm searching for a certificate.
That's the real
A certificate?
value of taking counsel
Yes.
live
It's supposed to be on the lawyer's desk.
with higher officials.
I have no idea.
But with
As far as I know, the desk is broken. You overheard two shady bugs discussing it.
of the trial.
Maybe they will know more. You will find them on the far side of the desk.
But as
They are under the folders.
it becomes more and more visible,
Alright, and how about this family of
there are,
bugs?
of course, not many lawyers who can do this. So you have made a
We will reach the aisle beyond the chair,
to me.
and you will discover the wonders.
Law is tireless, and so are we.
The wonders of the musical machine.
It should come
As long as they are older than 2 days.
to you that we have an
And the gifts of the
extensive network
Garmaphone Club?
Your
One day, kids.
interest.
But not today.
Indeed, things like this
Today, we look.
sudden. They start
You aren't too young anyway. Alright, not quite more than 2 days.
There must have been warning signs.
But one day you will retrace the steps of your father
Afraid that is not possible at the moment.
until a point,
I know the date of your trial.
you know,
It's in the ledger, which is currently
the point where your father
on my desk.
I must see them. What is the legal basis for
starts
this?
making some little
My
mistakes,
desk broke due to the laws of
and some others
I
overblow
don't
them.
mean your broken desk. I mean the ledger, the trial date, and
So
you
one
showing me the
day,
documents.
I just wouldn't know where to search
you will
for
help
them.
your father to get back there.
Besides, something said in private cannot be used.
One day, my kids.
Therefore, you seeing those
Alright, that
documents
conversation has
will
looped. Can I
not
talk to
help
any of
your
y'all?
case. I would say it might even hinder the
Guess not.
proceedings.
Mr. Holt, I insist.
So it occurs to me,
Trial is still in its
not necessarily everyone has been turned into bugs. We kind of already established that. I am not getting through this.
They are destined for me, not
But it's entirely possible that not everyone is descended from humans who have been turned into bugs either.
all they really
It's entirely
need
possible
from time to time.
that
After reading the papers,
in this
you
world,
get the
bugs
wrong
just
idea
talk.
and start acting
And the reason nobody knows is because they have such tiny voices.
the case.
I mean, considering how small they are.
Obviously is a very stupid system.
Also, how was
can
I
one
supposed
defend
to
himself if he
get
doesn't
across
know what he
from
stands
off of
accused
there? I kind of got lost after getting that little structure.
Introduce any improvements in the court system, or even to think about it. It's far from being the lawyer's job to introduce any
Also, what happened to this conversation?
system, or even to think about it. Many of them spend
Certificate
time
might
with
be
the
here.
matter, time that could be spent far better elsewhere.
Do you have any honey or ink to spare? I'm stuck down here.
To learn how to deal with the
I don't.
situation as it
If you find some, please bring it to me.
any other approach
I need to help a friend. He's up there and he's having dark thoughts.
and might do incalculable,
Well, he should be fine as long as he doesn't land on the floor.
not to mention attract the special attention
I'll try to
of
find some.
officials. Never
Also, this is
attract
kind of real.
attention to yourself.
I have a friend who's been recently
I would like
having
to discuss
dark
my
thoughts
defense
and
with you.
haven't
I
heard
know
from
you don't
him
know
in
the
a couple of
charge.
days. Makes me a little concerned.
Important. What is important is to submit
Actually, I think I'll
the
stay here.
set of documents to the court.
The first set. What are they?
The defense doesn't have access to court records, especially not to the
Do
indictment.
I necessarily need honey to get up there? Well, there's bound to be somewhere on this desk.
Or at
Ink
least not
over there.
precisely
Let's see.
what the
Any
first
markings of
documents
interest?
need to be about.
Way across on the other side.
Usually the first submitted documents are mislaid or lost, and even
Oh
if
boy,
you
look at all the
keep
dust
them
that's
right
just
to the
stuck in
end,
here.
rumor says they are hardly ever
I've seen bugs that get dust stuck on their legs, and
but not entirely
seems
without
like it would be
its
annoying.
justifications. You should not forget, Mr. K.
Ooh, I can read this.
There is no law
This is not a
that
certificate.
says the trial has to be public. You should not forget, Mr. K. that
It's also very much unreadable.
that says the trial
Maybe some of it could be recognized, if not for the fact that it also seems to... I was about to say it's in a different language, but it looks like I can see the word interviews right in the middle there.
This sounds completely absurd.
Regardless,
So what exactly is your role?
the most
No, I'm not making that out.
is the lawyer's personal connections. That's where the real value of taking counsel
I can't
lies.
climb up there.
Contacts
I could
with
jump.
higher officials, or with high officials, but with lower grades. That is the only
Try
way
to jump.
influence the progress of the true. But as it progresses,
There we go.
it
Made it.
becomes more and more visible.
There was no ledge on the other side of that pencil.
Not many lawyers who can do this.
Already have some paperwork?
The law is tireless, and so are we. The
So this is going to be hot
It should
chocolate.
come to no
I'm pretty
surprise
sure
to
it would be
you
instant
that
death if I fell into it.
network for for relevant information.
I mean, it would be potentially a sweet instant death, but the instant part means I would not really have the opportunity to enjoy it.
Things like this don't come all of a sudden. They start developing a
That's a
long
manuscript,
time
not a
before.
certificate.
There must have been warning signs of it.
Could I see those documents?
I'm afraid that is not possible at the moment. Not unless I know the date of your trial. It's in the ledger, which is currently blocked in my desk.
I must see them. What is the legal basis for this?
I guess my desk broke due to the laws of...
I don't think I'm reading this roll of paper.
I don't mean your broken desk. I mean the ledger, the trial date, and you showing me the documents.
I just wouldn't know where to search for them. Besides, something says...
Bound to be more bugs around here, too. Yep, here's one.
Therefore, you...
Hello, would you happen to know where I can find certificates?
help your case. I would
Not at all, sir. I've been here for some time now, contemplating this book.
your trial is...
I noticed this lawyer has a kind of tic related to the sound of the bell. It reveals his obsession with dates.
to me, not
I'll go search for the certificate then.
trials run their course all by themselves. All they
The lawyer's tic related to the bell appears to relate to the calendar.
after reading the paper,
Is that a hint for something?
wrong idea, and start acting
Each time the bell rings, he checks his calendar.
for sure.
That is a hint for something. Why would the sound of the bell provoke thoughts about dates?
How can one defend himself if he doesn't know what he stands accused
Now I'll just get back to this book now.
Far from being the lawyer's job,
It is quite interesting.
improvements in the court system, or even to think
I like to think of this place as a cavern.
far from being
That is
the lawyer's
neat.
job to introduce
Using books as a cavern.
court system, or even
Something you really only get to do with a bug. Just gotta hope that the book doesn't slip down.
time on the matter.
We don't need that kind of cave-in.
We spent far better elsewhere. The only right
Although the inside of the skull would be more adequate. Oh yeah, there's a skull over there. Need to investigate that.
as
It is quite interesting.
simply superstitious
Each time the bell rings, he checks his calendar. Okay,
to incalculable harm. Not to mention attract the special attention of the officials. Never
okay, since we've come close to your hand, you've lifted it up.
Mr. Holt, I would like to discuss my defense with you, but I don't even know the charges.
That is not important. What is important is to submit the first set
Alright, let's take care of this
documents
situation.
to court.
The first set? What are they?
The defense doesn't have access to court records, especially not to the indictment. That
I think I could just climb right up.
generally
Probably.
don't know, or at least
Well,
not
I'll just
precise
stick my way up.
what the first document
Been a bit since I used some sticky climbing. Still kind of fun. Hey, I got sticky stuff.
Are mislaid or lost, and even if they do keep
Alright,
them
we'll go talk to your friend ourselves then.
rumor says they are hardly ever read. This is all very regressive, but not entirely without its justifications. You should not forget, Mr.
I'm very curious what that justification actually is.
that says the trial has
Okay, gotta be careful. We cannot hang completely upside down.
forget, Mr. K, that there is no law that
Oh, boy.
says the trial has to be public.
Is that even possible?
What?
To keep the trial
I've noticed, by the way, that certain surfaces you lose your stickiness faster.
The very last.
And it's largely like surfaces that lead to places you shouldn't go. Like if you were trying to crawl down to the floor.
is your role?
The most important thing is the lawyer's...
Don't come any closer or I'll jump.
That's where
Take it easy.
legal value
What's your name?
in counsel lies.
Albert.
Contacts with higher
That is a very normal name.
officials, with high officials, but
I'm Gregor. Why do you want to jump, Albert?
to influence the progress of the trial.
I wasn't accepted for placement at the lawyer's office. I can't show my face at home. My father will disown me.
Presses
Your father sounds awful.
more and more
I mean, at least you tried, right? Your father can't disown you for trying.
Many lawyers who can do this.
Do you already have some paperwork?
It's not the end of the world. Look around you.
So are we.
So many places and opportunities.
Should come to
What do you
no
see?
surprise to you that we have
A skull.
an extensive network
The skull means
of
death.
relevant information.
It's all pointless.
Your case
I'm jumping.
is a very
Could you not?
interesting one.
I mean, I'm sure you'll survive, but please don't.
This don't come all
Wait!
suddenly.
Applications are always rejected the first time,
A long time before.
and sometimes lost and ignored.
Must have been warning signs of.
Could I see those documents?
They are?
I'm afraid that is not
That's right.
possible at the moment. Not unless I know the
Actually,
date of
I've heard that everything winds up deep inside the desk with the rest of the papers.
currently blocked on my desk.
I must
There really are heaps of papers in there, perhaps even certificates.
Desk broke due to the law.
Yes, they do keep the certificates in the desk.
I don't mean your broken desk. I mean
I guess it's easy for some
file
papers to get misplaced in there.
documents.
I just wouldn't know where to search.
See? You just need to reapply, that's all.
Said in private cannot be used.
Well, if that's the case,
Therefore, you seeing those documents
that's how the system
will
works.
not help.
They seek out
I would say
determined
might
individuals.
hinder the proceedings.
Mr. Holt, I insist.
I would like to land a job in the legal department at Tower.
Infancy. You would give
Oh.
the wrong impression.
That's great, I'm sure you will. Just
They
don't
are
jump,
meant
Albert.
to me, not for you.
Submit your application again and see what happens.
All by themselves.
All right, I will.
Is a nudge from time to time. After reading
Thank you for your help. You're
the
welcome.
wrong idea and start acting
I will resubmit my application.
should for sure complicate the case.
I'd love to work in at Tower.
Stupid system. How can one
Yeah, some people would rather bring the place down.
accused of?
It's far
I wonder if that's
from
going to come up
being
again.
the lawyer's job to introduce any
As you said,
improvements
I
in
need to
the
be
court
determined.
system or even
Indeed.
to think
And have some
about it.
spaghetti.
It's far from being the lawyer's job to introduce any improvements
Also,
in the court.
it's not worth offing yourself.
To think
Whether
about
you think it or not, there's bound to be people who care about you, who would be hurt if you
far better
who would be hurt if you wound up killing yourself.
the right thing to do.
Do you really want to put those people through that kind of sadness?
Deal with the situation as it
That's my reasoning for sticking around, at least.
approach is simply superstitious nonsense and might do
I thought there might actually be something up here, but I was wrong.
not to mention
Well, it does provide a nice view, I suppose.
officials
And we'll go ahead and end today's episode on this view.
yourself.
And next time,
I would
we
like to
will
discuss my
hopefully be
defense,
able to
but I
find
don't
the
even know the
certificate.
charges.
Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one.
Important is to submit the first set of documents to the court.